Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. It is Monday, April 19th, 2021, 10 a.m. Central, or just after, in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Had a slight delay getting the show started today. Sorry about that if you've been waiting. This being a Monday, kind of an outside gaming show. Hey, how are you doing, Sarah? Thanks for stopping in. We're going to take this time on this show to just talk about how Lake Geneva Games did over the weekend, reopening last Thursday, and just to say thanks all around to everybody who helped make that happen. Because it was a huge deal. It was a huge weekend. There were a ton of people who showed up to support the store and to kick things off in the reopening. The Thursday was by far the biggest day the store has ever done. I think about 150% of what the biggest previous single day was before. And Friday even just slightly beat the biggest previous day the store has ever had. And Saturday, top 10 biggest days the store's ever had. Nice new open layout at the store. Yeah, that's something to talk about. It's I didn't want to give too much away. I did say that he was making some adjustments or changes, but yeah, the entire retail space up front is very much more open, and there's a lot more space up there for more product. And still doing some work in the back rooms, but without the ability to really completely open those up. They took a back seat to getting the front up and running and ready to go. So too, the website has got some. There's some work to do yet on the website, so that is in the works, but it's being done. So that's good too. Sunday was better than a typical Sunday. Probably one of the best Sundays the store's had. So that's good. The whole weekend was phenomenal. Those 4 days were akin collectively to what would be a pretty good month in the old days, and that is due to everybody who showed up to help out, pick something up, just say hello and encourage Jason and Jesse and Ken, who were all working very hard. A lot of the time they had lines of people waiting as they rang one person up. One or two others were coming up to the line and getting ready to go, getting ready to be checked out. So there was a constant flow of people from right away from Thursday when they started to get going. And so much thanks to everybody. The better they do, the sooner I'll be able to head back over in there too. It's going to be a little while. Jason wants to work it for a little while so we can kind of pare down the debt that was created over 13 months of being closed. And it's the discussion we had about doing that. It was really the only way for the store to actually survive, and it's what we got to do. I'll rejoin the team sometime later in the summer. Not sure exactly when that'll be. It'll depend largely on how things go. But if things keep going, I mean, really, just open with a bang. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it'll be too much longer, but it's definitely at least going to be a couple of months probably. So, you know, that's something that can't be helped. And I'm just going to, hopefully things will open up more too, and I'll be able to enjoy a little time off in the summertime. Obviously, last year everything shut down. I'm a big baseball fan and a hockey fan. Both of those are happening right now. So being able to enjoy some of those, being able to enjoy the great outdoors or going places, whether it's small conventions or game days at various places, or just to get out to Lake Geneva Games and play some games once things open up a little wider. And if I get a couple of months of doing that, after last year not being able to do anything, and of course the previous 4 years I was working full time at the store, and you squeeze in gaming when you can, but when you're working full time, it's hard to get a ton of gaming in. So it'd be nice to get an actual bunch of gaming going on and see how that goes. Get a chance to remember those old days of gaming. Mm-mm-mm. I know there's plenty of online gaming that I've been doing and that has been going on, and that's great. It's a lot of fun, but it's not the same as face-to-face gaming. I'd love to be able to throw down some miniatures wargaming, various rule sets that I've picked up over the years and haven't gotten as much chance to play. Some old chainmail would be fantastic. Playing some Divine Right in person, or some Civilization, or some Kingmaker, or some of those classic old school games would be fun. And also getting a face-to-face first edition AD&D campaign going again, of course, would be hugely fun. I may be able to get that happening sometime early next month. We'll see. We will see. It's got to be the right group of people, obviously. Have to put out some feelers. Be nice to have a big group, but right now, the bigger the group you have, the more risky it still is. So we've got to be careful about that. As we've said before, with this pandemic, you got to run through the finish line, not to the finish line. So we got to keep going strong there. Hey, it's Heath from Australia, from Adelaide. Good day. Hosting me on your Twitch channel? That's very kind of you. Very nice of you. Thank you so much. I'll say good day to everybody. Hey, I love Australia. I heart Australia. That was a present from my friend Heath, who was kind enough to send that my way. I use it all the time to keep my water nice and cool. This comes in especially handy in the summertime. It's always good, though. Plus, it keeps the bottle sweat off your hand, right? So you can type without frying out your keyboard. That's a good thing. I'm going to have to set aside. It's finishing up. Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, before you go, I wonder if Sarah got one of these wonderful Lake Geneva Games pins that Jason put together. I've got one set aside. I'll have to dig up your address, Heath. I know I have it somewhere around here. I'm pretty sure I have it. If not, I'll PM you and get it. But I think I have it right over here, actually. So it's right nearby. We've got to send you one of these pins. They're not exactly like this. Imagine if the wings were cut out and the tail and the logo or the name was cut out, so that you cut around it, gave it just a little, and put the whole thing on a clear backing. They're not huge. They're about an inch high. He says, "Do I send the cash to the usual numbered Swiss bank account?" Absolutely. Under the Swiss name of Gigax. Classic Swiss name. That's my pseudonym that I use over there, just to be sure. I hope, Sarah, I hope you got one of those pins when you were in there. They still have some left, so if you pop in soon, I'm sure you'll be able to get one. Jason just wanted to make some really cool little keepsake for people to remember getting to the other side of this pandemic. And I know that's a little premature, but as far as the store is concerned, 13 months closed and coming back from the grave. And let's face it, the Phoenix, what better symbol is there for coming back from the ashes, right? It just, I mean, it's always been the Lake Geneva Games logo, but just so oddly fitting after having to shut down for this worldwide problem. Thank you, George. Yeah, it was a great, great weekend. That starts to sound like Tony Bennett, huh? It was a great, great, great weekend. Just a great, those fabulous kids who worked that store. Jason and his marvelous crew getting the place up and running. Thanks to Jesse and Ken and Jason for all working so hard. And believe me, they were working hard. I popped over after hours a couple of times just to say hi, see how things were going, see if there's anything they needed to bounce off me. Just, question or two. Obviously, I'm not working there right now, but it doesn't mean I can't give a little help where I can, a little advice, whatever. Good morning. And it went pretty well. It went really, really well for them. So I couldn't be happier. Well, are there any questions? I'm not sure what other stuff to talk about as far as Lake Geneva Games is concerned. I know it's still going to be a while before Magic events can happen. That's on Wizards of the Coast. They still have a moratorium on sanctioned events. So until they lift that ban, there won't be any sanctioned events. We can have some limited space events. Right now, he's allowing for up to 10 people in each room. Currently, that really only means the larger room is set up for gaming because there were some sale tables set up in the smaller secret room, and there's still some things on there. And I should say there are actually quite a few really good things that are 50% off there, though. They may be a little faded on the box from being in the sun for 13 months, and there may be a few other things. The store is got the website closed, but if you can get in touch with Jason through Facebook by going to the Lake Geneva Games Facebook page and sending a message through there. If there's something you see that's on the website, the inventory should be accurate. Pricing is not. That's going to take a while to get that all up to snuff. But if you want to contact him through the Lake Geneva Games Facebook page and let him know there's something you want. If you live in the area, though, definitely stop on in. You know, people are wearing masks. Masks are required in the store, so uh, they're keeping it very clean, and safety is paramount. But there's a whole section of 50% off games, and I saw a few neat things. There's that old, and it's an open box one, but it's the Lord of the Rings GW set, the green box starter set, right? And then there's There's a shrink wrapped, a little faded, but shrink wrapped copy of Wits and Wagers Deluxe that was there when I popped in. It was there when they closed down last night. They opened at 3 today, so get on over and grab that. There's a, what's it called? Sentinels? Guardian Sentinels of the Universe? Multiverse? Sentinels of the Multiverse. That's the name I'm looking for. There was a starter set of that there. It's a really neat deck builder game, kind of similar to the Marvel deck builder game, right? Just different superheroes. So that's really cool. Um, I'm naming three things here, but there are literally dozen of different small games and large games and some old uh, miniatures, GW stuff, and a few other things. Um, all at 50% off. You could go there and, well, spend as much as you want. You only help the store, and that's a good thing. Heath from Adelaide says, I heard you got rated by the esteemed Tom Wam for said discounted stock. Yeah, yeah, local luminary and storied game designer Tom Wam, famous for Snit's Awful Green Things and Elephant Hunt, Moose Moosecapades. He's got so many different cool games. But yeah, he came by and took a look through all that stuff, and I think he grabbed a game called New York City, the City Builder game. It's like Alhambra or by the same company, Queen Games. So I think he picked that up. And Tom loves a good train game or a good city builder game, and that's a classic. I know Queen Game doesn't get as much hype as a lot of other game lines do. They fall in the middle, complexity wise. They're not entry level. They're not gateway games as like Catan or Stone Age or Carcassonne or Ticket to Ride. Those kind of when you're first teaching people how to play first journey games, says Heath, and that's a good. Yep, your son loves playing Ticket to Ride. Fantastic game. Still play it regularly, at least once a year. I know Gary used to love to play Sunday morning. He used to love to play a good game of Ticket to Ride at conventions as a sort of a easygoing Sunday morning game to play after having played all his war games and RPGs and all that other stuff on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays of a convention. That was a nice wake up, cup of coffee, a little brunch, Ticket to Ride. You're ready to go. All right, Heath, have a good one. Take care. Heath has got to go to bed. It's 1 a.m. or just about. Yeah, 1 a.m. in Adelaide. So, and he's not a shift worker, so go to bed. If I can steal one of his famous lines. Yeah, Tom Wam got a good game. Tom Wam loves a good train game. Ticket to Ride included. Well, those Queen games, they definitely are. He reminded me that if you're not a shift worker, you don't have to go to bed until 2 a.m. 1 a.m.'s okay. Those Queen games, Alhambra is a fantastic game. And they have so many others. It's worth looking them up and seeing what they got. I know that Lake Geneva Games has a good stock of Queen games, so you'll see. What's what I'm thinking of? Lancaster. Lancaster, which has a base game and a great number of expansions. There's a big box version of which I know Lake Geneva has a copy of with it's a big box version with all the expansions already in the big box. So as they did with Carcassonne, where they made it with expansions for years and years and years, and then they finally put out a big box with all the expansions included. They did the same with Lancaster, and you know Lancaster. It's a War of the Roses themed themed game. I played that. Who was it? Mike Paul, I think. A great teacher of games at a Nexus uh, when it was still just south of Milwaukee by the airport. So 5 6 years ago, maybe a little longer. Um, it was there for the Nexus game and for the convention, and Mike Paul was kind enough to teach that game to myself and a few others, and I just fell in love with it. What a fantastic game. Probably one of the more intricate and complex of the various games that Queen's Games puts out. So maybe that was part of the allure for me. Was it was very intriguing, very engaging. Definitely caught my interest. And that and there's so many more games there. Um, you can pop over to LakeGenevaGames.com, of course, and check out. Mm, I wonder if I can just pop this open now and see what we got going. Hang on 1 second, and I will switch over to this other screen. There we go. There's the website. So yeah, feel free to pop over there. Lots of stuff on the front, but you can see what's in stock board game wise by popping over to board and table games section. Most of this pricing should be right, so check that out. Seven Wonders, Agricola. I think that one's sold, so that may be the one that Jason was asking. There's Alhambra. There's a small card version of it too. So two different versions of the same game, basically the same mechanics. Apples and Apples got the junior version as well. Aquasphere. There's a game that takes a little while to set up, but once you get set up and get going on it, I think that's Tasty Minstrel. Very fun game. Architects is a great time. Boy, I'm just barely into the bees here, huh? Biblios. That's a fun little game too, by the way. Good little pocket game. All of the the Catans, of course, are going to be in here. This is pretty neat. House of Danger, a choose your own adventure game. City Hall, another city builder game. Like I was saying before, Tom loves those. Alien versus Predator Clue. That's pretty nifty. Colbert, another train game. Code Names Colorado. That's a fun little card game. It's a set, in fact, that same convention where Mike Paul taught me in Lancaster. He also was teaching us how to play Colorado. And he showed us how to play that, a couple of us, and we must have sat there for an hour and a half. It's a very fast game, 10, 15 minutes. We must have played half a dozen games of that after we learned how to play it. So much fun. And you could just throw it in a coat pocket, throw it in a backpack, take it with you anywhere you go, bust it out. Like Love Letter. which we've got plenty of in there. Oh yeah, there's an expansion board, or was. That was on the 50% off table, I think, for Concordia. So if you're a Concordia player and you don't have this expansion board, by all means, pick it up. Good old Copycat, Cosmic Encounter, Classic, Council of Four, Coup, remember Coup. D&D Dungeon Mayhem. That came out a couple of years ago and was a very exciting release. I think there's a copy of Dastardly Dirigibles in on the 50% off table. That's one Ernie Gygax taught me and is made by a friend of his who's over in the UK. And we have a blast playing that. Basically building your own dirigible. I think you have to put a pilot in it and do all those things and piece together the best one. Everybody at the table is building their own airship, right? You could build it longer or shorter. You might trigger the end of the game, but if yours is not doesn't get as many victory points because of the way it was built than someone else's, well, you don't necessarily win. Dead of Winter, Descent, Journeys in the Dark, Dixit. I mean, all the classics. Dominion, Drinking, Flux. There's a lot of Flux games. Elysium, oh yeah. Empire Express, another train game. Escape Zombie City, classic Queen games. Euphoria, that might be one of my favorite games of the last decade. I just really love a game of Euphoria. Exodus Fleet, I've only played this once. I had a good time though. That was alright. Exploding Kittens, not safe for work version. Fallout, based on the video game franchise. Firefly, that's a smaller card game, so that's a. Oh no, this is the full. This is the bigger game. Firefly Flux, of course, is a card game. First Martians, Five Tribes, Flag Dash, Flashpoint. Much like Pandemic, you're part of a team, but in this case, not saving the world from viruses, but rather fighting fires and helping save people from emergency situations. Anywho, I think I could go on and on. I'm only on the F's, but I really am running out of time here, so I guess I better giving people a good idea of the kind of stock that's there as far as board games is concerned. So go check it out. There's all sorts of good stuff there. You won't be disappointed. It's a hell of a great store. And if you're a Magic player, I'll tell you, the stock there is deep. You will be amazed at how much Magic product they have available for sale. Sealed sets going way back. Packs, of course. There must be at least 6 different Masters sets that you could still get packs of. Double Masters. Everybody else sold theirs out during the pandemic. They still got some Double Masters at Lake Geneva Games, so definitely worth checking that out as well. Well, you know what I got to say? I got to say thanks once again to everybody who helped kick the store back off on its reopening. Thanks, by the way, here, though, for everybody who jumped in on the chat today, and thanks to anybody who checks out the live stream. If you're here and you're checking out the live stream, be sure to follow the channel. And if you are checking it out on YouTube, by all means, subscribe. We stream the show here on Twitch Monday and Thursday for about a half hour, starting at 10 a.m. Central. Mondays tend to be out of game stuff like this show today. Thursdays we get into the rules or we get into gameplay. We dive deep into mainly first edition AD&D, but we'll look at original edition. We'll look at other OSR games from time to time. And once we record it on Twitch, we do put it up on YouTube, usually within the hour. So you can always check out shows there. They're archived. We've got them going back all the way to when the pandemic shut things down last year. We were doing it every day last year up through mid-December. Starting in the new year, we switched to just doing it on Mondays and Thursdays, and that's plenty for me. So I'm ready to go to get back to work at the store, and I wanted to be able to still do the show, so I picked a couple of days when that would work. If you're catching it up on YouTube, please, by all means, give a thumbs up to videos you like or enjoy, and feel free to make comments. You got some constructive criticism, or just want to discuss the theme of the show for the day, please do. And by all means, subscribe, and then hit the little bell so you get notifications when new episodes are added and uploaded. Thank you very much. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.